Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, another video. I'm going to get a couple out today. I only got one out yesterday, so I'm going to try getting at least 3 out today. Guys, I wanted to talk about an issue which was mentioned in the live stream. I think quite a fight that we all want to see, a fight that, you know, we all want next. A fight whether I don't think we'll get next, but one that we do want to see. And that is Demetrius Andrade v Jermall Charlo. This is a fight that's been talked about by a lot of people. This is a fight that, you know, divides opinion. This is a fight which I believe that it's a damn shame for American boxing, and the reason why a lot of the pay-per-views in America is dying because of the fact that I think a lot of the top American fighters don't fight each other. This is a great fight and an opportunity for them to create history, really, like history in the sense, 2 undefeated champions fighting each other for a unification fight. I think it would be a fight which would sell very well. I think it'd be a fight which would be well received by the American audience. Unfortunately, these are the type of fights that the American publics just don't get. You know, it's very, very, very disappointing that these two are not fighting each other. I actually think it's a damn shame for the American boxing fans. I think it's a joke. I do. I think how can you have fighters of that magnitude not fighting each other? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing as far as I'm concerned. Now, I did see Jermall Charlo say that he would be interested in a fight with Demetrius Andrade. I think he said it on his Instagram. The Charlos do say a lot. It's whether they follow up with it. We know that Demetrius Andrade wants that fight really badly. You know, he's been calling these guys out, and unfortunately Demetrius Andrade hasn't been getting the fights. I really want to see Demetrius Andrade get his opportunity and show whether he is that guy or not. You know, he's been wanting a Canelo fight for a very long time. He's been wanting a Jermall Charlo fight for a very long time, and unfortunately the fights just keep, you know, slipping by him, and he's getting older. You know, unfortunately, you know, he's not going to stay young his whole life. He's going to get older, and eventually he's going to be past his best. Like I said, if these two don't fight anytime soon, I think we'll have another Floyd Pacquiao situation, but just not at that level financially, or in terms of these guys being as good as those guys. It won't be, you know, it won't be as big as what it could be now. I think right now is the time the iron's hot, and I think they need to strike while the iron's hot. I don't understand with why these fights don't get made. It just staggers me. Like, and the one thing I've always thought, that if the two fighters really want it, it should get made. But unfortunately, boxing's a bit bigger than that. It is a lot more complicated than that. Sometimes it's the managers, it's this, that, and the other. It's like, you know, look, Luis Ortiz has just rejected a Hrgovic fight. Now, maybe Luis Ortiz just doesn't want that fight. Maybe he thinks it's too dangerous and he wants a more lucrative fight. You know, there's rumors that Andy Ruiz might be lined up for Luis Ortiz. Who knows? Whatever it is, you know, financially, Luis Ortiz in this situation deserves a big fight. He's an older man. But, you know, that's another fight which probably would be against, you know, a fighter fighting from a PBC fighter fighting another guy from another, you know, another platform or another promoter. It just seems like PBC like to do a lot of in-house fights, and they don't really make a lot of fights, cross-promotional fights, which isn't great. And Charlo is obviously part of PBC, and Andrade is DAZN. And Eddie's already said that DAZN are willing to let Andrade go and fight on their platform, but they still don't seem that keen. Like, when I mean keen, like, I'm pretty sure Charlo's not afraid to fight Demetrius Andrade. Like, surely it's not Charlo saying that he doesn't want to fight Andrade. Surely he'd take that fight in a heartbeat. For me, it must be, you know, or is it Charlo? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm really confused, because, you know, a lot of people think Charlo's ducking Andrade, but is it a promotional thing? Is it more? I don't know. It's confusing, because you think that a lot of these guys are fighting guys, unless, here's the thing, these guys are getting paid so much money to fight lower level opposition, and the money that they would get paid to fight each other is not much bigger. That's the only thing I can think of, because any other thing doesn't make sense. So, for example, if Charlo got paid $3 million to fight Montiel, for example, I'm not saying he got paid that, and then he gets, what, $4 million to fight Andrade, maybe he's looking at it and think, is that really worth it? It's not. So I might as well keep fighting these lower level guys, getting paid the money. The problem is you're hurting your legacy, and some of these guys don't care about legacy. It's more about the money. You know, money at the end of the day, you can't eat legacy. You know, so I get why some of the fighters don't care about legacy. But for me, it gets to a point where when you're like, for example, like a Canelo who's earned so much money, you know, and we had a chat about this on the live stream that Canelo, is it about legacy, is it about money? And Rare Breed was saying, well, you know, it's not about legacy for these fighters. Well, I would beg to differ, because Canelo has made so much money. He's getting 40 million a fight. Like, there's only certain things that money can buy, right? After a certain point, you become so rich, and Canelo knows he's so rich that surely it would be about legacy. Surely it would be, because Canelo Alvarez now must have so much money. Canelo Alvarez must now have, he must have ridiculous amounts of money. So why would you know, why would it be just about money when he's got so much money? He's made for life. He doesn't have to work anymore. You know, some of these guys, like maybe like an Andrade, Jermall Charlo, they haven't got that kind of money. So they're still trying to secure their future. Like, for example, give me a guy that I like, or a guy that I've supported, Amir Khan. Like, he doesn't have to work a single day in his life. He is secured financially for the rest of his life, right? So the business opportunities that he got now, he's fighting Kell Brook as well. Like, he doesn't need to fight now for money so much. Like, obviously, a few more quid isn't going to hurt, but he's not fighting for money in the sense that, you know, he doesn't, some people may say it's a last payday, but he's got a lot of money now. He's made, he's already, even if with or without this Kell Brook fight, Amir Khan is sorted for life. And the same thing with Canelo, and even Jermall Charlo and that. They made a lot of money. Jermall Charlo, for me, must be set now. Like, you know, he's not got like Canelo money. He may not even have Khan type money, but he's got a lot. He must have money, because I know that guy's been making good money from his fights with the PBC. And I think now's the time, and for him to step up and kind of start thinking about his legacy and start, you know, creating a good resume for himself, because his brother Jermall is doing that. Jermall looks like he's going to fight Brian Castano again. So the point is that it's time now for Jermall. I think Jermall's never been a unified champion, if I'm not mistaken. Jermall has, but Jermall hasn't. So it's time for Jermall to kind of look to make that fight with Andrade. Now, he was open to it on his Instagram, and I hope that they can make the fight, because it would be a fight that really makes a lot of sense. And from a stylistic point of view, I favor Demetrius Andrade in the fight. I think Demetrius Andrade would outbox Jermall, but I do think Jermall can win that fight. I think Andrade could gas out. I think Jermall's power, pressure, jab is very, very good, and I think he could really hurt Andrade in that fight. You know, Jermall is a very strong, big guy, very, very strong man, and he's got a good chin. You know, he showed that against Montiel. Could Demetrius Andrade stop Jermall Charlo? Possibly, possibly not. I would favor Demetrius on points, and I would favor Jermall by knockout. That's how I see that fight. I think Demetrius could stop him? Possibly early on. Demetrius Andrade starts very fast, and he is very spiteful early on. But one thing I've noticed with Demetrius is that once the guy takes his power early on in a fight, and he's able to absorb his power, Demetrius later on in fights, he's a bit like Amir Khan was a bit like that. Early on in fights, he could really hurt guys. Early on in fights, Amir Khan could really stun you, hurt you. But later on, once the guy had absorbed Amir Khan's early pressure, later on it will just be a case where Amir will just like go through the motions and win a points decision, because he's able to absorb Khan's power early on. And Demetrius kind of is in the same kind of ballpark, in the sense that early on, Demetrius Andrade starts like a steam train, but later on in fights, Demetrius Andrade doesn't have the same power in his punches that he has early on in fights. He doesn't have that same energy that he seems to have early on in fights. That's what it seems like. He just goes through the motions and wins a comfortable points decision. Personally, for me, I would slightly favor Demetrius Andrade, but I think it's a proper 50-50 scrap. I do. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a very, very good fight, and hence why I want to see it, because it's not just the fact that they're two undefeated guys. It's quite an evenly contested fight. it's a bit like the Khan Brooks situation. It's quite an evenly contested matchup, and hence why I think it makes for a very good fight, and it makes for very good viewing, and I think it enhances whoever wins legacy. And that's, for me, surely it should be about that for those guys now, because they've got to the point where these guys have made good money. Now it's about taking themselves to that next level, and they need to fight. Like, I don't understand Andrade's look. Andrade, there's talk of him fighting Zach Parker for the interim, 168-pound championship, WBO championship, but that doesn't really make any sense to me, because Zach Parker's not a big fight. It will just be another, like, Jason Quigley or thing. Here's another thing. A lot of people think Demetrius Andrade is going to duck Jantabek, who's his mandatory, who's a very good fighter. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if Demetrius Andrade doesn't take that fight, because it doesn't make sense. It's a kind of if he beats him, nobody really knows that guy. If he loses to him, he's lost everything. So for me, if I was Demetrius Andrade, if I'm going to stay at 160, I'm going to target a Jermall Charlo fight. I need a Jermall Charlo fight. Otherwise, I'm not going to stay and fight my mandatory. No way, because it'd be pointless, and it'd be dangerous for me. I think that fight would be no good for Andrade at this point. I think Demetrius Andrade, if he's going to stay at, if he's going to stay at 160, I think the only fight that makes sense is Jermall Charlo or a Golovkin fight. Is he going to get that? I doubt it. But I feel like Golovkin would fight the winner of that fight. So if Demetrius Andrade and Jermall Charlo fight, I think Golovkin would be tempted in fighting for an undisputed championship against the winner of that fight. So if those two could fight, and the winner of that fight potentially could get an undisputed fight with Golovkin, if Golovkin beats Murata, by the way, which is at this point in Golovkin's career, who knows? But that's what I think. I think that's what they should do, Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. But I think it's a case where neither, it's about not getting a loss, really. It's about not losing. But I would favor Andrade against Charlo. Do you think Andrade knocks Charlo out? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.